All right, everybody, welcome to the show. This is the PPP show. You have President Dontae
Popcorns and pajamas.
and we're going to be talking about politics. So that's what it's about. The PPP show. You have President Dontae Popcorn.
Trump, we need you to hold on because we're coming. Now, I know it may feel like you got the world on your shoulders. They're trying to take all your businesses. They're trying to break you spiritually, mentally, and financially. But hold on, Trump, because we're coming. You have more support out here than you probably could ever imagine. We don't care about nobody calling us cult members. We don't care about nobody calling us mega extremists, right-wing extremists. We don't care anything about that. We want you to hold on, Trump, because we're coming. We're going to pull you through in the primaries. And November the 5th, 2024, we're going to be there rain, sleet, or snow to make sure you become the next president of the United States of America. So hold on, Trump, because we're coming. You have more support out here than you probably could even imagine. Not just the 74 million people that voted for you in 2020, but you almost have double that. So Trump, hold on, because we're coming. And we're coming strong. We don't care what nobody have to say about you, Trump. We don't care what nobody have to say about us. We know when you were in office, you put Americans first. You put American citizens first. And for that, Trump, we got your back. So hold on, Trump, because we're coming. We're coming. And know that we're going to stand 10 toes down. We got on our steel-toed boots. We got on our body armor. We're not wimpy. We don't care nothing about name calls. They can say what they want to say about us. They can say what they want to say about you. But we just need you to hold on, Trump, because we're coming.
Yo, can I say something that needs to be said? Because I noticed that this TikTok ban has been passed through the House. I hear a lot of liberals and Republicans talking about this app should not be banned. Well, let's do something. Stop reporting people. Stop reporting them. If you don't like what you're hearing, just go to the next channel, go to the next page, go into the cipher that you're used to being in, because y'all mad at the government for trying to shut you down, but yet if you hear something you don't like, you want to shut a person down. How many people have lost their pages on here because some people want to be petty? They want to be petty betties and get on here and report stuff and they lost their page. I mean, how many of y'all out there, like myself, have lost pages on this very app that people are crying about now because you had petty betties and you had some Debbie Downers get up here reporting your stuff. But you're mad at the government? You mad at the government now because they're shutting you down? Don't feel good, does it? It doesn't feel good when a rapper gets a gun, does it? See, the thing is that we unite as people, because this app has brought a lot of us together. We're able to have hard conversations. Some of us are able to work through some of those conversations and get a better meeting of the minds. But I bet you some of y'all will still be petty, and y'all will still go out here and report people's pages, and yet talk about the government. See, we the people, sending them people up there to represent us. They're not representing us. They're going to do what they want to do. See, we got to let them know that we the people are the reason why they're where they are. And if they can't comply to our rules and what we sent them to D.C. to do, then we'll have them back at home, chilling on their couch or their futon or whatever they sat on. Because we got to take our control back. American people. Now, we have been saying it forever today that we need to stand up and we need to stand united. Get rid of this race stuff. Get rid of this reparation stuff. Get rid of this, Trump is bad and Biden is good. Get rid of all this stuff. Get rid of, we got to fund Ukraine. We got to take care of Palestine. We got to take care of Gaza. No. Let's take care of home first. Let's not worry about all the immigrants that want to come here. We got to take care of home first. Because at the end of the day, in their countries they coming from, TikTok ain't being banned. It's being banned here. And I'm not trying to be funny when I say what I say. Wake up. We have all this other stuff that may be security risks. And let's be honest, Facebook sell our data. Instagram sell our data. All of them sell our data. Why are we acting like we're surprised? And these people up here in Washington, they swear up and down it's about a security threat. But I also was reading where they said that it has something to do with political influence. That's what they're nervous about. This is what they're scared of. Republicans and Democrats. They're afraid of us realizing that we've been played by them, and they're afraid that we're going to come after them. We the people got to stand up. Because United States, it says us. It's about us, not them. Peace. Oh yeah, one more thing. Popcorn and pajamas and myself, we got a surprise for y'all. You gotta stay tuned. It's coming soon. I just want to let y'all know that it's coming. Can't tell you what it is. Just watch what happened. It's coming soon. Stay tuned. Peace. And pajamas, and we're going to be talking about politics. Now, before we go into that, I just want to kind of, go to something that Popcorn, she went to the Trump rally on Saturday, and she took a picture with this gentleman, and it's something that was said, and I want us to talk about that first. I know Popcorn go get me because I said we're going to talk about that last, but I think that would be a nice icebreaker. What you think?
Okay, great. I think it's great. Let's get into it, talk about it, and of course, have fun. Now, listen, we also gonna be throwing some jokes in there here and there, so don't think we're not gonna have any fun because President Dontae and Popcorn, we like to have fun.
Absolutely. And look, this kitchen table talk right now. I mean, we're gonna give it to you raw and uncut. We can't do that on TikTok, but we're gonna, try to make it TikTok friendly. But again, let's check out something real quick. One moment here. Let's see here. And here we go. So as you see right here on the screen, it says the comment, Trump said we blacks have nothing to lose. So why show the con man? He's right for the first time, shaking my head. So Popcorn, this was something that a comment that was left on your TikTok page?
Yes, it was. Because I took that picture at the Trump rally. Yes, it was. And if you see on the other side, those two, the lady and gentleman on the side over there, I don't know if people noticed, but they are black. There were other black people at the rally. So, yeah. Yes.
It's amazing how people, they just want to point out things that have nothing to do with nothing, in my opinion. So we're going to, like I say, black people support Trump because they like Trump. And it's okay. I mean, I don't understand why people have such a big issue with Trump, with the, black people supporting Trump. And before we go into these videos, that's something I want to kind of talk about too. Why do you think that so many black people are against black Trump supporters? They can support Biden, they can support the Democrat Party, but when it comes to the black diaspora, we cannot support Republicans, nor can we support, Trump. Why do you think that's a big issue?
Because Joe Biden told us we all think alike. Did you not get the memo? He told us, unlike the Latino community, who are diverse, that we all think alike. So anytime we start thinking for ourselves, you get attacked. For some reason, and it's sad, but blacks and the Democratic Party think that the Democrats own the black vote. They think they own your vote if you're a woman, and that's not true. I've always been a conservative. I voted Democrat at one time, and that was for Bill Clinton because I like the things he was saying. I like him saying, you're gonna get welfare for 5 years. Don't ask, don't tell. I like those things, and I voted for him in his first term. I got threw up on the bus afterwards, but I voted for him his first term. So me being a conservative doesn't mean I don't listen to other parties, because I do. But I align with the Republican Party. If it was conservative party, I'd vote for the conservative party, but it's not one. But you have the right to vote for who you want to vote for. Democrats don't own my vote because I'm a black woman. They don't own my vote.
I definitely agree. So before we go to a video, how do you feel about Nikki Haley?
No comment. Can I say that? You know what? First of all, let me say this. And I want to go back to the video, the comment you put up earlier too in a minute. Mm-hmm. But let me say this about Nikki Haley. I wouldn't vote for Nikki Haley. She was the only one running. If nobody was running but Nikki Haley and a bottle of water, I vote for the bottle of water. Nikki Haley should have never been up there anyway. I don't trust her. I don't like anything about her. She flip-flop. And then she was talking about some raise retirement age to 70. It's easy for her to say that for those of us who will be actually working. Because let's be for real, the blue-collar workers is the backbone of this country. Not the elites. Not the blue collar workers, the backbone of this country. So to tell those people that you want them to work till they're 70, she done lost her rabbit mind. Like I said, if it's between Nikki Haley and a bottle of water got my vote. It is what it is.
A bottle of water. So
yeah, it's more useful. It's more useful. At least the water quench my thirst. It's more useful. I'm just saying.
So a tiny bottle of water, Aquafina could get your vote before she could. At
least I know the water would do something for me. If I'm thirsty, I know the water will quench my thirst. She ain't gonna do nothing. I'm just saying. It is what it
I'm
is.
tickled. Y'all, we had to have an icebreaker, y'all. We had to, man, because this is how we talk on the phone. I mean, y'all going to get it raw and uncut. This is how we talk. I mean,
Exactly. Talking about they coming at her because she a black woman, a woman of color. Girl, if you don't go somewhere and play in some heavy traffic and leave us alone with that bull crap. Talking about something, they coming at me because I'm a woman of color. It's amazing how Kamala Harris, she became an African American when she wanted to vote from the black women and the black people.
Right.
Nikki Haley becoming a woman of color when she won our vote. Stop using us. I don't want. That's one thing I hate about people. Don't pander to me. Tell me what it is, what you want, whatever. Don't pander to me. That's a problem for me. You know what I'm saying? Girl, bye. Nikki, go. Yeah, I vote for the water.
Okay, y'all, let me tell you something. Hey, Popcorn and Pajamas is fiery. She's going to pull some stuff out of me because I'm kind of laid back and chill.
And that's what makes us good. That makes us good together.
Yeah, so she's going to pull some things out of me. But we're going to go to a video real quick. And it's Stephen A. He's talking about the State of the Union that Joe Biden did. I haven't seen it, so I seen a glimpse of it.
I haven't seen it either.
So this is you're going to get a raw reaction from us. I mean, it's going to be completely raw. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the video up, y'all. Just 1 second here. I'm still learning
his
here.
Annual State of the Union address. The president highlighted his stances on taxes, foreign policy, and even reproductive rights. He called out Republicans for not supporting a bipartisan border security bill. And he blasted former President Donald Trump, without naming him, of course, for quote unquote bowing down to Russian President Vladimir Putin. There's a couple of opinions, a few actually, that I have on the State of the Union address. First things first, let's talk about President Biden for a second. Because while you had an abundance of people on the left who want to bring up how they saw this man and they said, hey, you know what? He looks fiery, so much fervor, so much energy. And you had the left wanting to make a big deal about that, right? Let me show y'all what that's the equivalent of. Are you watching? Cameramen, stay with me. Stay with me. Are you ready? Are you ready? So guess what? That means I can run 5 miles now? That means I'm in shape? What?
I had to pause it right there, Pop. I mean, he's already cooking with grease. I mean, like, already.
Okay. Shoot, and he right.
That is funny to me, man. We going back to the video, y'all. Now, let me see how you know what, y'all, here we go. Let's go back. Here.
What the hell does that mean that Joe Biden looked like he had energy?
I'm learning, y'all. Forgive me.
The question is, can you rely on him?
What am I doing?
To do that
I don't know what I'm
for
doing,
4
y'all.
years,
See, this is raw and uncut.
Starting next year.
Because I don't know how to get the video back up.
That's the question. He gives a speech for 1 hour and 10 minutes or so on a weeknight in March of 2024, and suddenly that warrants 4 more years for a dude that's going to turn 82 years of age in November and is expected to give 4 more years after that. I said before and I'll say it again. It is an utter disgrace that in the year 2024, the Democratic Party, who calls itself progressives, is begging and relying upon an 82-year-old to come save the day for 2025, 2026, 2027, and the 2028. And if you think that an hour speech offsets all of that, you smoking crack. I'm worried. Age matters at this point in time with a Joe Biden because we've seen some slippage. He didn't look that way last night. Give him credit for that. But it doesn't amount to a hill of beans in the grand scheme of things when you're talking about 4 more years. That's the only point that I wanted to make about him and how energetic he looked during his speech last night. Now let's get on to another topic because it involves somebody else that, quite frankly, I'm not that fond of. It's Marjorie Taylor Greene, representative who's made a scene at every one of Biden's State of the Union addresses. It continued Thursday night as she showed up in a bright red MAGA outfit. She tried to engage the president as he walked into the House chamber. Greene could be seen telling Biden to, quote, say her name, end quote, an apparent reference to Laken Riley, a 22-year-old nursing student who was allegedly murdered by an undocumented immigrant.
Allegedly?
The president did not address Greene.
Thank you.
Not at that moment, but later in the speech, he mentioned Riley and held up a button acknowledging she was killed by, quote, an illegal, a name Democrats usually avoid saying. First things first, I think it's important to recognize that it's kind of heinous to accuse any individual of being responsible for someone's murder.
What?
There are an abundance of things that we see taking place on Capitol Hill that we're not happy about.
You know what? I have to pause that. What do you think of what you've heard so far? And the way I'm kind of glad it's not on video, so they can't hit us with a copyright because we're listening to it by audio. But what do you think about this? I mean, because she was doing good at first.
Okay, let me say this right here. And I'm not a fan of Stephen A. Smith. But even a broke clock can be right twice a day. And in the beginning, he was actually right. I agree with him when he was talking about Biden. This is what y'all think because he can walk from here to there that he's doing a great job. I agree with him on that. But then here comes the stupidity, as I expected from Stephen A. Smith. Okay, he brought up Marjorie Taylor Greene. Y'all know I'm from Georgia. from the Peach State. Marjorie Taylor Greene got the right to wear whatever she wants to wear. I don't care if she had on a Trump doggone hoodie with his face on it and it said vote Trump 2024. She has the right to wear what she wants to wear. Let's be for real. Did you look out in the audience? It's not like everybody out there had on suits and dresses or whatever. People had on everything. She can wear what she want to wear. You don't have to like Marjorie Taylor Greene, but she can wear what she wants to wear. You understand what I'm saying? Now, the fact that he said that Laken Riley was allegedly killed by somebody who they know have done it shows the brain cells are not always there. The brain cells are not there. Something is going on. For you to sit up here and say allegedly to her parents who had to bury her, she wasn't allegedly killed. She was killed.
Right.
It was alleged funeral. It was a funeral. It's not an alleged hole in your heart from losing your child. There's a hole in your heart for losing your child. And to try to minimize this is some complete BS. And this is why I don't really like Stephen A. Smith. He'll say one little piece that makes sense, then he come with the stupidity. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean,
yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I mean, this dude is, I mean, he was doing good. I mean, you talk about, and if you notice, he didn't say that Biden called her Laken Riley. He just mentioned the last name, Riley, Miss Riley, because he flubbed that name so bad. And Lincoln is not her name. Her name is Laken, you know, and so, and it was done by an illegal. I mean, I know Mayorkas say they don't say that, but it is what it is. And Joe Biden even walked that statement back, you know, saying that, you know, he shouldn't have said that. This is weird to me. Since when do we not call a spade, sis? I don't understand. If you're wrong, right?
Listen, Joe Biden, let's just be for real, because I'm so tired of these people trying to act like Joe Biden is the best if Joe Biden is the best we get in this country, we might as well just lay down and tell the other countries, look, do what you want to do, because this it for us. We don't have anything else. This is the best we got. And if this is the best we got, that means the rest of us are under that. We're in trouble. Joe Biden sitting up there apologizing for calling an illegal immigrant, which he is an illegal immigrant. Come out. He's sorry because he shouldn't have called him that. But what should you have called? Okay, don't call him an illegal immigrant. Call him a murderer. Instead of calling him an illegal immigrant, call him a murderer because you call him a thief. Call him a murderer and a thief because not only did he kill this child, he stole this child from their parents. So now you're a murderer and a thief because you did not have the right to
and a rapist.
Okay, thank you.
And he raped her. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I mean, it's not looking good at all.
It gets worse every moment, and they have to apologizing for calling him an illegal. Child, bye. If I want to call him something, but I'm, you know,
it's
this
a shame and disgrace.
Oh, not do. Yeah.
I feel you on that. So we're going to go ahead and finish listening to what this dude got to say. Um, I'm not going to torture you too much longer, Popcorn, I promise.
We see politicians on both sides of the aisle seemingly incapable or at the very least unwilling to make things happen, to reach accords that would best benefit our society as a whole. And so if you're looking at it from that generic perspective, I can get how you can talk about laws or lack thereof impeding our ability to govern our society to our liking, and as a result having a negative impact in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But with such ease and such indifference to associate the President of the United States with murder over something like that, I think that's a bit cruel. That's number one. Number two, Marjorie Taylor Greene could come up in whatever outfit she wants to come up with. But it's pretty sad
You just
when you
said
see
that.
the way some of these politicians act. The latest being her. We've seen politicians in the past, like a former representative screaming, "You lie," at former President Barack Obama when he was giving his State of the Union address. A level of decorum from our politicians would be helpful, because when you have something to do with legislating our lives, it would be nice if you conducted yourself with some class and decorum. That way society could use that as an example at which to model itself after, and maybe we too will learn to
Yeah,
operate
sure
with
can.
Cause we gotta take him in spurts. Cause yeah, I don't even drink it. I want to go get me some. Let me say this right here. Let me say this right here. It's see, this is what I don't like about the Democratic Party. They like to call out one side. One thing I can say about you, little brother, and me, we'll call Trump out. We don't care what. We'll call out Trump, Jim Jones, Mike Johnson, whoever. If you're wrong, you're wrong. But see, he's calling out Marjorie Taylor Greene and what they said about Barack Obama. Because you can't say nothing about Barack Obama. They like to say we're in the cult, but say something about Barack Obama and see what happens. But he don't talk about AOC. Look how much stuff AOC did. How many times AOC stood on that floor and yelled and screamed? Look at Maxine Waters in the middle of the street. If you see somebody with a Trump shirt on or a Trump supporter, you get in their face. You do that. They don't like to talk about that stuff there, but they can point out every little bitty thing there is when it comes to the conservative side or the Republican side. This is what I don't like about this. This is what I don't like about these people like this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just wanted to say that. Child, yeah, I need a Pepsi.
Yeah, Stephen A is a whole joke. I mean, like I said, when it comes to, if it was Trump, they can say what they want to say about Trump, and I'm just being real, and it's okay. But if you say something about Lord Obama and his friend Biden, it's a problem. I mean, nobody is pinning necessarily saying that Joe Biden actually murdered Laken Riley, but he's complicit because he had the border wide open, and you want to do this intelligence to make sure you have national security, but you have people coming into this country, they're not being properly vetted. This person, from what I understand, had left the country, had been deported, came back in the country, and did all this stuff, and you can catch that. It's weird to me. Y'all to my national security, you need to worry about taking care of home first and making sure we're secure here before you're trying to ban TikTok and shut down things around the world. We need to take care of stuff here. And I just think that these paid pundits like Stephen A, he's getting paid to say what he has to say. I mean, that's just my opinion. Because if we say anything different, then they're going to bring him in the office and say, you can't say that.
Exactly. Now they can't catch somebody. They can't catch somebody they see walking over the border, right? They can't catch somebody they see walking over the border illegal. But let Bobo or Lil Ray Ray do something. But they can find them. I'm just saying. They can find them, but you can't catch nobody coming straight over the border. Well, yeah, that's crazy.
You can't make it up. So I think it's a few more seconds of Stephen A, and we're going to move on from him and go to the hearing from Mr. Herb. But let's go.
Quorum in class and conduct ourselves appropriately. But when y'all ain't doing it, you're damn sure ain't in no position to tell somebody else they should be doing it. Marjorie Taylor Greene, on far too many occasions, conducts herself as a person who emits very little class, all because she wants to make noise. You can do it in a professional and classy manner and make your point. You don't have to act the way she's acted sometimes. It's part of our problem today. It really, really is. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because it's a more important subject to get with. And that is when I'm talking about the official Republican response that was delivered by
Why is this
freshman
thing? Oh
Alabama
my
Senator
God, this
Katie
video,
Britt
y'all.
last
It
night.
ain't me.
Britt
It's
sat at
not
her
me. It's
kitchen
this
table
Wi-Fi.
and
Wi-Fi.
delivered a 17-minute speech that was quite the rebuttal and focused heavily on immigration and the economy. When she got into Biden and some of the things that he was saying about his immigration policies, about the economy, and she was breaking stuff down, it was a very riveting speech. At the very least, we have to say that. 1 minute, she looked like a stay-at-home mom speaking glowingly about family and unity and what have you. The next minute, she's talking about immigration and she's talking about the violence in the streets of America and she's talking about a questionable economy, at least in the eyes of the GOP. And she demonstratively, I might add, came across very, very disturbed and
Okay, so I'm done with him. So my thing is this, Pop, when you, because you say you didn't like the response either, you know, to
I
the
didn't.
response that the conservative lady gave to Joe Biden's speech. You didn't like that either, right?
Man, it was like watching paint dry. I'm just gonna be honest. I know she's a
So
conservative. She's an up and coming Republican, but it was like paint dry.
right.
It's yeah. I mean,
And
it was horrible to
are
me.
we having a delay?
Yeah.
Are we having a delay? Okay, I don't know why we're having a delay. Y'all got to understand. I mean, we're gonna run it. This ain't our fault. It's this real life, man. I mean, we don't have no state of the art studio where we have people lights, camera, and doing all this stuff, the audio and engineers doing stuff. This us at the house, you know. So y'all go get it raw. I mean, this is real life. I think that y'all will appreciate that we don't have the lights, cameras, and actions. We give y'all our real, authentic feelings and our emotions to what we're seeing and hearing. So hopefully, Wi-Fi, Joe Biden's Wi-Fi, and will do what it's supposed to do because it's tripping right now. So you want to have anything else you want to add before we go to the next
Yeah.
clip?
I do. I want to say this. I didn't like her response either. It was like I said, it was like watching paint dry. It wasn't enough for me. I mean, it's just me. I know she's an up and coming, supposedly star in the Republican Party. She's one of the youngest females there. I get that. Bravo to her. I listen, girl power. Yay, girl power. But let me tell you this right here. It was horrible. I think somebody else, they should have allowed Jim Jordan, Josh Hawley, or somebody like that to get a response because it was like watching paint dry. I had to sit there and hold my eyes open like this just to watch them. It was horrible. Yeah, y'all can get mad with me. Oh, you're a conservative. Yep, I'm a conservative. They're gonna tell you the truth. It was horrible. But before we go to the next thing, can we go back to the guy who put that comment up about
Yeah.
Trump? Because I get so sick of getting that comment all the time. Yeah, that comment down. Trump said we black have nothing to lose, so why show the comment he is right for the first time? Shaking my head. I want to comment on that, and I want to get your opinion about it too, if I can. Um,
Okay.
yeah, this is what I want to say about that right there. I am so sick of people parroting that same little part. That's all
Mm-hmm.
they talk about that and the Central Park Five, which I want you to say something about. What Trump said, what do you have to lose? He was right. What do you have to lose? But instead of listening is a skill. Listening is a skill, and I say all the time, not everybody have that skill. People hear, but they're not listening. Because what he said was, you've been voting the same way forever. You live in
Mm-hmm.
the poor neighborhoods. They have the highest crimes. Your schools are horrible. If you vote for me, what do you have to lose? Blacks got upset with that as if it was some racist. What he's saying is, you've been voting for these Democrats who have done nothing for you. Look how you living. If you vote for me and I don't do anything for you, what do you have to lose? You haven't lost anything. But comprehension and listening is a skill. And instead of listening and paying attention to the message, instead of worrying about the messenger, because people get so caught up in the messenger instead of listening to the message that it go over their head. They talking about this racist. I don't understand. Please tell me, where am I missing something?
No, you're not missing anything. You're not missing nothing. The thing is, some of these people have been in the mindset, have been told for decades that we're who we are and what the way we should think. And then if you think outside of that box, then you're going against your own people. It's like people telling you as a black woman or a black conservative, because I've been called a white supremacist. How is that? That's an oxymoron. Are you upholding white supremacy? But yet you hear these people that will come and call you a coon and call you a race traitor, bootlicker, what they call you, Auntie Ruckus. Somebody call you Auntie. They call you Auntie Fanny the other day, right?
And he was about 100. I ain't trying to be funny, but he was older than Joe Biden. You have nerve to be trying to call somebody a name. You don't get your country sister and sit down.
Yeah, but he was right when Trump, he says you have nothing to lose. He was right because the Democrats have not given us anything, but a bunch of broken promises. Every 2 to 4 years, they come and say, what I'm going to give you, we're going to make your life better. And we see now with the immigration issue, Joe Biden is one of the best things he probably could have done to wake up black folk, because now black folks starting to see what conservatives have been telling them all along, that these Democrats only use y'all for your votes. Once they get your votes, they're done with you. And to be honest, once they get these migrants to vote, they're going to have no need for black people. None at all. They're going to have no need for black voters, and they're going to have them replace them. And that's just what it is. I mean, I know people talking about the replacement theory has to do with white people, but I think it's Americans as a whole. They want to replace all us. If they can get rid of us and start over with a whole different set of people, they would.
Well, I want to ask
Kamala Harris said you got to depopulate.
That's what she said. But I want to ask you two things before we move on. And listen, I'm enjoying this. Y'all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was nervous at first. Don't ask me why I was nervous. Y'all know I'm shy. Y'all know Popcorns is shy. Y'all know I'm shy. And I was nervous, y'all. But it's actually fun. I am shy. I can be shy. Well, I can't be shy. But let me ask you this right here. I want to ask you this because I read the Central Park 5 article, and I know you read the Central Park 5 article. And I was watching some stuff on YouTube the other day, and they was talking to these 3 young black kids, educated kids, whatever. And this girl said that she can't vote for Trump because he's trying to take away her right to have an abortion. Okay. And he put that article in there to hang for the death penalty for the Central Park 5 guys. Now, I read that article. Several times, and I have to ask myself, are the people who's constantly repeating this same stuff, have they actually read the article? So you read the article. Tell me what you took from the article when you read it, because maybe look, y'all know I've been out of school for a long time. Things have changed. So what? Tell me. What did you take from it? How did you get it?
What I took from the article was that he was basically talking about all the crime that was going on in the area. He says, bring back the death penalty for murderers. Okay, the Central Park 5 were not murderers. They were alleged rapists. So that had nothing to do with the other. If people could just comprehend and stop being so emotional or trying to win an argument and just think for a minute. He was talking about if you're a murderer and if you're doing, let's say, for instance, you raped somebody and you murdered them, like what happened to Lakeland Riley. You should get the death penalty. That's what he was talking about. And he was only going by the information that we all had at the time in 1989. It's not like it is in 2024. We can find out information in real time. We didn't have cell phones back then. So it's a lot of things as time progresses. So I find out more and more things. Now, to say that the Central Park 5 was exonerated, they were not. Their sentences were vacated, and it's a big difference. People need to understand that. So I think that Trump was saying, hey, black people, white people, Latino people, Asian people all want to go in an area where they can be safe. If you read the article, that's the only time he ever mentioned race. He never mentioned race. He even never mentioned the Central Park 5 either. So these people heard this on the media, and this right here lets you know that the media can shape the minds of people, and people that don't want to pursue truth, they can be deceived. That's just the way I look at it. And I too used to think that too. Trump was a racist. Trump don't like white people. Don't like black people. When I heard Trump, find people on both sides. But that's what woke me up, sis. When I saw the whole video when he denounced the white supremacists and the neo-Nazis and all that, I was like, oh, Democrats, y'all been lying to me. CNN, you lied to me. So I'm done with y'all. So that's what made me wake up and leave the Democrat Party. I was like, I'm completely done with y'all. Not saying that the Republican Party don't lie, because they do. But at the same time, I have not given my allegiance for a long period of time to the Republican Party either, if that makes sense. So that's how I feel about it.
A lot of sense. Because if you're just listening to one news station or one certain party and they're telling you, Trump said that there was good people on both sides. That's what you're going to believe. But when you go back and listen to the clip, and he said, but I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis, and I'm not talking about the white supremacists. He said, I condemn. They leave that part out. So, of course, you think this is all you think about this man. And like Malcolm X said so long ago, whoever controls the media controls the minds. And that's exactly what it is. Whoever controls the media controls the mind. That's why it's so important for us to have these platforms, to have these social media platforms, so we can get the truth out there. Because right now, the mainstream news is not telling us the truth. They're lying to us. They're lying to us to direct us in the way they want us to go, to have us fighting against each other, to pit us against each other. So until we can start push back, like you say you did, you push back and was like, wait a minute. When you heard the whole clip, it was something totally different. And I just felt like you have been lied to. And I understand it. Like you said, ain't nobody saying the Republicans is, like you always said, the be all everything of everything. They're not. We're not rhinos in the Republican Party. For anybody to think every Republican loves Trump, you got to be, listen, stop. You're like Stephen A. Smith said, you on crack. Stop. Because not everybody like Donald Trump. Not every Republican voted for Donald Trump. Not every Republican going to support Donald Trump. If they were, he wouldn't have had so hard his first 4 years because everybody would have been backing him. So no, we're not saying that. Only thing we're saying is research for yourself. Like me and President Dontae always say, when we put out information, research it yourself. Don't just take our word. Look it up for yourself.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what people need to start doing.
Absolutely. And the thing is, the quiet is kept. I know y'all, some people gonna get mad. Republicans, y'all getting mad. And there are probably some low-key racists in the Republican Party. We're not gonna deny that. But to say the whole party is racist and the people on the ground are racist, no, we're not supporting racist people. But the Democrat Party, I'm saying them white liberals, everybody know I cannot stand white liberals because, as Malcolm X said too, that these white liberals are dangerous because they look like foxes. They look like they're smiling at you, but the whole time they're ready to attack. And yes, he says that the conservatives are like the wolves, but at least you know a wolf is a wolf, and a wolf gonna do what a wolf do, right? But you have these little foxes called white liberals. They run around here acting like they're your friend, but they really don't care about you or your betterment. And black community, I wish you would wake up and see that the white liberals are the problem. Always have been, always will be. Until we wake up and break away from them, because when they get mad at us, you'll see the truth come out about how they really feel about you. And that's just how I feel about it, you know?
Oh, I agree with you. Like when I was on your live the other day, your live was going great. I guess it was a tech popcorn day. God darn it. You know, they can't stand me. Y'all will tell y'all something. Them doggone liberals can't stand me. They can't stand me. But this lady come on there, and the first thing she do is attack. She don't want to have a conversation. She wants to come on there and attack. And of course, listen, yeah, I responded. And they take you that way. Sometimes they push you to that point because people think they could just come out and say, well, of course you have freedom of speech. You have freedom of speech. I will fight to the end for people to have the right to say what they want to say. But you got to remember, just like you have the right to say what you want to say, I have the right to say what I want to say too and defend myself. So don't get to wanting to cry and report me and say I'm bullying and harassing because you don't like what I said to you after you said certain things to me. I don't get it. It's crazy, man. It's just crazy.
Rules of thee, not for me. That's how it rolls. You know, I can do what I want to do to you, but you got to take it. But they must don't realize, so like we always say, we're not the typical conservative. We're not the typical Republican. Hey, we get down in them streets and we get dirty. We have to.
Hey, all the way. We keep trying to tell y'all we support that too. Hey, take it for how you want. I'm trying to be political correct now. I ain't gonna keep doing it. 2A all the way. Take it for how you want. Lock and load it. Okay, that's it.
Pow, pow, pow. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next video. We're gonna kind of like this piece through some of these, and I'm not gonna take the video off the screen this time. I'm just gonna leave it up and we'll just pause it where we need to. I'm gonna leave us to the side if we need to, because I don't want it to be where we're just listening. But let's go, y'all. And whenever you need me to pause it, just let me know. Hey, hit this and I'll pause it. And we can talk about it. So it's all good.
I think you told us, Mr. Herr. Page 231, you said this. President Biden had strong motivations. That's a key word. We're getting to motive now. President Biden had strong motivations to ignore the proper procedures for safeguarding the classified information in his notebook. Why did he have strong motivations? Because, next word, because he decided months before leaving office to write a book. To write a book. That was his motive. He knew the rules. He broke them because he was writing a book. And you further say, and he began meeting with the ghostwriter while he was still vice president. There's the motive. Mr. Herr, how much did President Biden get paid for his book?
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure if that information appears in the report.
Sure does. There's a dollar amount in there. You remember?
I don't. It may be $8 million. If that's
$8 million. Joe Biden had 8 million reasons to break the rules. Took classified information and shared it with the guy who was writing the book. That's why he did. He knew the rules, but he broke them for $8 million in a book
is making me
advance.
mad.
You know what? It wasn't just the money. Joe Biden, here's this page 231, very next page. Joe Biden, in your report, Joe Biden viewed his notebooks as a temporary record of the most important moments of his life.
Hold on. Let me pause this for a minute because I don't know what is going on. Can you hear? Because I know it's like breaking up. I don't know why it's breaking up, and I will edit this part out. I promise I'm edit it out while we're talking. I'm gonna go check this out.
I hear everything.
You can hear it? Okay, well maybe it's just breaking up on my end, so I'm not gonna mess with it no more. Then okay, cool.
His presidency. He'd written this all down for the book, for the $8 million, and the next thing you say in your report is, quote, such a record would buttress his legacy as a world leader. You know what this is? It wasn't just the money. It wasn't just $8 million. It was also his ego. Pride and money is why he knowingly violated the rules. The oldest motives in the book, pride and money. You agree with that, Mr. Herr? You wrote it in your report.
That language, and it does appear in the report, and we did identify evidence supporting those assessments.
You also had another interesting statement in your report. You said Joe Biden, I want to make sure I get this right, viewed himself as a man of presidential timber. Remember that statement, Mr. Herr?
I believe that does appear in the report, at least in the executive summary.
I think this is interesting because here's the scary part. Page 200, I said this earlier in the opening statement. Page 200, Joe Biden, this is a quote, Joe Biden risked serious damage to America's national security when he shared information, shared it with his ghostwriter, the guy who was helping Joe Biden get $8 million. And oh, by the way, Mr. Herr, what did that ghostwriter do with the information Joe Biden shared with him on his laptop? What did he do after you were named special counsel?
Chairman, audio recordings that Mr. Zwanitzer created of his conversations with
exactly
Mr. Biden.
What I'm referring to.
He slid, if I remember correctly, he slid those files into his recycle bin on his computer.
Tried to destroy the evidence, didn't he?
Correct.
The very guy who was helping Joe Biden get $8 million, Joe Biden had used the motive for Joe Biden to disclose classified information, to retain classified information, which he definitely knew was against the law. When you get named special counsel, what's that guy do? He destroys the evidence. That's the key takeaway in my mind. That's the key takeaway. I yield back.
Okay, so we'll pause right there real quick. That was Jim Jordan. I think they're going to a different person, Hank Johnson, next. So what did you take away from that cross-examination, I guess, that conversation with them too?
First of all, it amazes me how I don't understand why Joe Biden has not been tried. I can hear you. Can't hear me? Can you hear me? Dontae, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. I said, I don't understand why Joe Biden is not being charged because he's never been a president until now. He had those classified documents when he was a senator and a vice president. A senator and a vice president can't declassify any documents. What are we arguing? What is the problem? He had the documents. He had them in his car. In his garage by his Corvette that he loved to talk about. He had them in other places that were not secure on the top of he wasn't supposed to have them. Why are we even going through this? Why is he not being charged? And then he even told his so-called ghost writer things that was in the classified documents. And they want to talk about that's not national against the national security. Are we for real right now? I don't
Right.
get it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And I think that when you want to hear now, I think it's going to be a Democrat. He's a Democrat. He's going to cross-examine her, but it's not about Biden, because I thought the hearing was about Biden, right?
Yeah,
But it
it is.
seems like the only thing they could talk about was Trump. That was the weird part for me. So we're going to go ahead to Mr. Hank Johnson from Georgia. I believe you're from your state, if I'm not mistaken.
I didn't vote for him because he's a Democrat. I can tell you up front, I did not vote for him. Don't get mad with me. Don't nobody throw nothing at me because I did not vote for him. Don't throw no peaches at me when you see me in the street. I'm just saying.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Hur, you've led a distinguished career, earning your law degree from Stanford University, and you served as a student as executive editor of the Stanford Law Review, correct?
Correct.
Then you went on to clerk for Judge Kaczynski of the Ninth Circuit, correct?
Yes, sir.
After that, you ascended to a clerkship with then Chief Justice William Rehnquist on the United States Supreme Court, correct?
Correct.
And then you later joined the Daddy Bush Department of Justice as a special assistant to known Federalist Society member and now FBI Director Christopher Wray. Isn't that correct?
I did spend some time working for former Assistant Attorney General Christopher Wray.
And you later joined the Trump Justice Department as the Associate Deputy Attorney General, working as the right-hand man for another known Federalist Society member, Rod Rosenstein. Isn't that correct?
I served as Mr. Rosenstein's principal deputy.
And then Donald Trump appointed you to serve as U.S. Attorney for the District of Maryland. Is that correct?
President Trump nominated me to serve in that position, and I was unanimously confirmed.
Correct. And thereafter, Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed you to serve as special counsel for the United States Department of Justice to conduct a full and thorough investigation of certain matters to determine whether or not Joseph Biden should be charged with unlawfully moving and retaining classified documents. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
And nowhere in that order does Attorney General Garland authorize you to conduct an investigation and issue a report on whether President Biden is mentally fit to serve as president. Isn't that correct?
That does not appear in the appointment order.
And pursuant to your appointment to conclude your investigation, you issued a report that was published by Attorney General Garland.
Yes, sir.
And your report concluded that after a full and thorough investigation, the evidence was insufficient to establish that President Biden had willfully retained classified documents. Isn't that correct?
My judgment was that based on the state of the evidence, a conviction at trial was not the probable outcome.
It determined that there was no evidence of willful retention because each time classified documents were discovered to be in the president's possession, the White House notified the National Archives right away. The Biden team fully cooperated with the National Archives during the investigation. Once the DOJ opened the investigation, President Biden and his personal counsel fully cooperated. Isn't that correct?
We did identify some evidence of retention disclosure.
It's though that the president cooperated fully with you. And didn't they never tried to hide any documents from you, did they?
The report does note steps of cooperation taken by the president.
Thank you, sir. And last but not least, unlike in the Trump classified documents case, President Biden's counsel never falsely certified that there was classified documents in the president's possession, correct?
The report does include some comparisons and contrasts between the facts alleged in the Trump case and the Biden case. Despite
clearing President Biden from being prosecuted, you used your report to trash and smear President Biden because he said in response to questions over a 5-hour interview that he didn't recall he got the documents. You knew that that would play into, it's not true. but yet that's what you try to offer to them, and that's why they are having you here today, so that they can expand upon that narrative. And you knew that that's what was going to happen, didn't you?
Congressman, I reject the suggestions that you have just made. That is partisan politics.
Sir, you are a member
whatsoever in my work.
You are a member of the Federalist Society, are you not?
And fair.
Are you a member of the Federalist Society?
I am not a member of the Federalist Society.
But you are a Republican, though, aren't you?
I am a registered Republican.
Yes, sir. And you're doing everything you can do to get President Trump reelected so that you can get appointed as a federal judge, or perhaps...
I have no such aspirations, I can assure you, and I can tell you that partisan politics had no place whatsoever in my work. It had no place in the investigative steps that I took. It had no place in the decision that I made, and it had no place in a single word of my report.
Thank you.
The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Florida. 5 minutes.
Okay, so Pop, I think he's done with that speaking. Now, so the thing is, we're going to talk about this Mr. Hank Johnson from your peach state, Georgia. You know, how do you feel about that dude and what he had to say? Because it's like he was getting mad because he was saying that Mr. Hurd was attacking Biden and basically trying to trash Biden. How do you feel about that?
First of all, this is what get me, because he talking about, because you vote Republican. Okay, he vote Republican. He have the right to vote for whomever he want to vote for. Whatever political party he wants to support, he has the right. So for him to say, well, you vote Republican, so you doing this to try to help Trump win. Let's go to New York City. Let's go to Letitia James. She vote Democrat. She's attacking Trump to try to help Biden win. Let's go to the judge in New York. He's coming after Trump to try to help Biden win. Now, since we talk about Georgia, let's come on back down to my peace state and talk about Fannie Willis or Fannie Willis, whatever she want to call herself this week. She's attacking Trump. She vote Democrat. So you see how that go. So the statement he made to me was just idiotic. It was ridiculous. It made no sense to me.
Yeah, it made so sense that you have, Hamburger helper up there, Alvin Bragg, he's sitting up there talking about, Trump. And it's like all these Democrats, if you notice, Merrick Garland appointed him as special counsel knowing that he was a Republican, So the thing is, like, you're going to blame him for doing what he's supposed to do. But Merrick Garland, who was over the DOJ, appointed him. So the onus lies with him, not with Mr. Hurd. Mr. Hurd did his job. He honestly said that, if I took this to court, they would not find Joe Biden guilty because he's slow, that he has some form of dementia. Is something not going, the elevator's not going fully to the top when it comes to Mr. Joe Biden.
Well, let me say this real quick. Because if he can't go to trial because he's too slow, Joe, to go to trial, then why are we letting this man run the country? Please, somebody explain to me. If he's too slow mentally to go to trial, why is this man sitting in the White House as the president of the United States of America? Make it make sense to me. He's too slow to go to trial, but he ain't slow. He's okay to be the president.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
I'm not rich.
Right.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Never gonna talk about Mr. Adam Shifty Schiff. I don't want to say how he gonna attack anybody or have anything to say when he came out with all this Russia collusion stuff and made a big spectacle of himself. Haven't he been censured in the House?
You know what? I don't know. He need to be censored, period. But yeah, God darn. But what he got to say? I haven't seen it, so let me hear what he got to say.
Okay, let's roll.
Sure, I want to ask you about some of the differences between the facts involving President Biden and President Trump. But before I do, I want to refer back to your opening statement in which you said that you did not disparage the president in your report. But of course, you did disparage the president. You disparaged him in terms you had to know would have a maximal political impact. You understood your report would be public, right?
I understood, based on comments that the Attorney General had made, that he had committed to make as much of my report public as consistent with legal policy and legal requirements.
And you could have chosen just to comment on the president's particular recall vis-a-vis a document or a set of documents, but you decided to go further and make a generalized statement about his memory, didn't you?
Congressman, I could have written my report theoretically in a way that omitted references to the president's memory, but that would have been an incomplete and improper report, and that it did not reflect my analysis.
You could have
the explanation of my decision.
You could have written your report with comments about his specific recollection as to documents or a set of documents, but you chose a general pejorative reference to the president. You understood when you made that decision, didn't you, Mr. Herr, that you would ignite a political firestorm with that language, didn't you?
Congressman, politics played no part whatsoever in my investigative steps.
But you understood nevertheless, didn't you, Mr. Herr? Mr. Herr, you cannot tell me you're so naive as to think your words would not have created a political firestorm. You understood that, didn't you, when you wrote those words, when you decided to include those words, when you decided to go beyond specific references to documents? You understood how they would be manipulated by my colleagues here on the GOP side of the aisle and by President Trump. You understood that, did you not?
Congressman, what I understood is the regulations that govern my conduct as counsel.
Those regulations
required me to write a confidential report for the Attorney General,
which you knew would not be confidential.
My decision, and that is what I did, Congressman. I followed the rules.
You knew it would not be confidential.
I followed them.
You knew it would not be confidential, didn't you?
Sir, the regulations required me to write a confidential report explaining my decision to the Attorney General,
which you knew would be released.
Was the Attorney to determine
you understood it would be released, did you not?
Would be released consistent with DOJ policy.
You understood it would be released. You understood it would be released.
I understood from the Attorney General's public comments that he would make as much of my report public as he could, consistent with legal requirements in DOJ
policy. And you also understand DOJ policy that you are to take care not to prejudice the interests of the subject of an investigation, right?
That is generally one of the interests that DOJ policy prosecutors respect.
And it was your obligation to follow that policy in this report, was it not?
It was also my obligation to write a confidential report for the Attorney General explaining completely
what you did write was deeply prejudicial to the interests of the president, political, and yet you must have understood. You must have understood the impact of your words. You must have understood the impact of your decision to go beyond the specifics of a particular document, to go to the very general, to your own personal, prejudicial, subjective of president, when you knew to be amplified by his opponent, when you knew that would influence a political campaign. You had to understand that. And you did it anyway. And you did it anyway. And let me just go to some of the differences here between the president's conduct and Mr. Trump's. In the superseding indictment, on page 3, it says that Mr. Trump, his attorney fully represent to the FBI and grand jury that he did not have documents called for by the grand jury subpoena. You didn't find anything like that with respect to Mr. Biden, did you?
Congressman, I do not have the Trump indictment in front of me, but I need to address something that you said in your prior question. What you are suggesting is that I needed to provide a different version of my report that would be fit for public release. That is nowhere in the rules. I was to prepare a confidential report, comprehensive for
what is, Mr. Herr, what is in the rules is you don't gratuitously do things to prejudice the subject of an investigation when you're declining to prosecute. You don't gratuitously add language that you know will be useful in a political campaign. You were not born yesterday. You understood exactly what you were doing. It was a choice. You certainly didn't have to include language. You could have said documents that were found at the university the president did not recall. There is nothing more common. You know this. I know this. There is nothing more common with a witness of any age when asked about events that are years old to say, I do not recall. Indeed, they're instructed by their attorney to do that if they have any question about it. You understood that. You made a choice. It was the wrong choice. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Arizona, did special counsel wish to respond to that final question?
Yes, Congressman, what you are suggesting is that I shape, sanitize, omit portions of my reasoning and explanation to the Attorney General for political reasons.
No, I suggest that you not shape your report for political reasons, which is what you did.
That did not happen, Congressman. That did not happen.
The gentleman from Mr. McClintock.
No, so as you see there, so how do you, I mean, what was your takeaways for that?
First of all, he's from California. What do we expect? I'm just saying. Now let me say that in this Mr. Russia. In this Mr. Russia from California. Okay, let me ask you this. If I ask you to go to the store and bring me some peaches, why are you bringing me nectarines? You don't know the difference? This here is supposed to be
Right.
about Biden. I knew it was not going to be long for somebody to start talking about Trump. I knew it wasn't going to be long. First of all, Russia from California, he don't need to talk about nobody trying to sway a political party, political outcome. He don't ever need to say that because he did that for 4 years with Trump. He was going after Trump with this Russia lie for 4 years to try to sway a political election. You understand what I'm saying? So the fact that he even stood up there and sat there rather and said that is amazing to me. These people, I don't think they hear what they're saying. They say so much. I don't think they hear. First of all, he been in up there for over 20 years. By term limits, can we say term limits? He need to be gone because sometimes they've been up there so long till they can't see or hear but one way. And they refuse to look at another way. They refuse to hear another side. It's just this side and that's it. So yeah, Russia. Let me just put that out there. Russia.
Yeah, it was basically like he was trying to scold him and say, this is what you should have said. But I think that he has independent thought. I mean, he wrote it to the Attorney General. The Attorney General had the right to release it. So he released what he wanted to be released, right? He could have said, no, we're not releasing it. He did it for a reason. So I don't understand why Mr. Schiff's so upset that, he didn't write it the way he would have written it. We already know if you was the one writing it, you would say Joe Biden is cognitive and he's smart and he's intelligent and he's all this and the third. But Mr. Herb made his decision by what he saw. I mean, he was saying the man couldn't recall when his son passed away. I don't mean no harm. I think that most people can remember the date, the time, literally when a person they really love passed away. You don't forget those things. Like I can tell you the date, the time my mom left this world. I can tell you when she died, the date, the time, everything, because I remember, because I love my mom, and no, I'm not 81 years old, but at the same time, I mean, even some people that are older, your father is 92, right? I'm quite sure he remember when his wife passed, right?
He could tell you when his wife passed, his daughter passed, my sister. He could tell you that. He could tell you all of that. And he still talk about it. And he's 92. So and I understand everybody is different. I understand age, as you age, everybody's different. But Biden is not mentally there. When are we gonna stop playing this game? When are we gonna stop playing this game like Biden is I guess he learned to stop running because one while he was trying to jog everywhere till he kept falling. So I guess he stopped that. Maybe sooner or later he'll get the rest of it. I don't know. Shoot,
well, maybe with Biden, I mean, I think he's played crazy so long or played slow so long that it's now taking hold. It's like back in the day, stop playing with that before you get stuck. Got stuck.
What's he playing though? Wait a minute, but what's he playing? Okay.
I don't know. Okay. That's the thing. With Joe Biden, we don't know if he's playing or if he's serious. Like, that's the truth. We don't know. He's been a plagiarist. He's been doing some stuff for so long. We don't know what to believe. He's cried wolf so many times. It's like, I don't know.
Let me just say that because at some point we got to call a spade out here. This man is on stage shaking hands with invisible people. He's talking about he had a meeting with somebody who has been deceased. He's up there calling his wife, his sister, his wife. He's up there talking about something. I mean, when are we going to stop playing these games? You know what I'm saying? Right. He tripping over his feet. He falling up the steps. How you fall up the steps? Now, I done fell down some steps before. I ain't gonna lie. How you fall up the steps and get up and fall again? I mean, when we going to stop playing these games? Yeah, I don't know. I'm at a loss. This country is doomed. And not just listen, this country is doomed. And not just because of African Americans. Then they talk about, well, he was talking
That's
about.
What he said.
He was talking about diversity and how we got to be diverse and all that. Yeah, but what he said is it's doomed, and not just because of African American. He could have said this country is doomed if we don't come together and figure this out. He didn't say that. He said he made sure he stressed African Americans. I'm just saying, but maybe it's me. I don't know.
What he really felt. That's how he really feel about African Americans. We can't get on the laptops and our iPads to figure out how to vote and how to, figure out how to, find out what a jab is and what he said about the woman during the pandemic is because of a black old woman that's kept the shelves stocked or something to those lines.
Yeah.
Joe Biden is a racist, man. I mean, a bona fide, certified racist, in my opinion. And what they're trying to put on Trump
In
is
your
what Biden
opinion,
is.
you're a
Yeah.
smart man. You're a smart man. Come on, let me
See,
hear
in my
about it.
humble opinion, because I don't want to put that out there as a matter of fact, because some people try to fact check me and say he's not, but I'm just saying that when it comes to Joe Biden and most Democrats, they project and they deflect. That's what they do. They're the master projectors and deflectors. They would deflect and project on something on you that's really them. They'll say that Popcorn, you're a racist, you're upholding white supremacy, when it's really them, because again, they're calling us people that don't toe the line of the Democrat Party. They're calling us all the racial epithets and all those different names that they're calling us. And I think it's just disgusting. And that, that kind of is going to lead us to the next video with Roland Martin and them, how they're disparaging a black man. Because I thought Fonnie Willis said, you don't emasculate no black man. You don't do that. But these 4 individuals that we're going to see on this video, they do exactly that and more. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the video up. We're going to take a look at that. This is a raw reaction, and we're going to rock it. Let's go.
On a funny note, courtesy of Tim Scott.
No.
Press play.
Will Trump this November?
I have never seen the type of enthusiasm for a Republican presidential candidate that I'm seeing right now for President Donald Trump. 40% of African-American men are willing to vote for President Trump. Why? Because they had more money in their pockets, we had more law and order in the streets, and we had a greater future for our kids. Listen, President Trump is a president that says every child in every zip code deserves a quality education. President Trump says every deserves not defund the police, but let's refund, respect, and have our officers where they're needed the most. We, as a people, the American people, love that. But African Americans are devastated by migrant crime. We're seeing African American kids staying home from school in New York City so they can put illegal immigrants in the schools. We're watching Colorado and Denver specifically zero out paychecks so illegal immigrants can have more money. That's not on my watch.
That boy need to be enrolled into the NFL's concussion protocol program.
My goodness.
Best.
Congo, if he actually ain't that's showing 4% of black men gonna vote for Donald Trump. He is
no way.
I don't know what the hell. I don't know what I'm telling you right now. They need to issue pass the cup to him and Lindsey Graham, because clearly both South Carolina senators are high as hell.
They got something going on. I don't know. And the fact that they can just get up as boldly say these things, and these commentators or these hosts or so-called hosts, they just buy it because it goes along with their propaganda. Wow. And he just said it so confidently that with no citation whatsoever. And this is the type of stuff that he's going to continue to say, and Trump's going to continue to say. They hawk out the sneakers as they put out the fake images. And this is why, going back to the top of the sex show tonight, this is why the investment in black media is so important, because you need to have real people who represent black media counting these narratives, actual facts, with actual posters, with actual surveys, with actual studies, and actual scholars and activists who do this work. And Tim Scott demonstrates none of that, and no one on any of these shows is ever going to ask him about it either. And it's a shame.
2 words for him, Julian. Boy, bye.
That is the biggest fool I've ever seen, but we know that. I mean, he's about as right as he is straight. In other words, he's just lying. He doesn't mind lying. Good for that work that has behind him at 27%, not 40%. of black folks who are inclined, and understand this, Trump inclined does not mean Trump voter. We still have 6 months in this election. We don't know what what is going to happen in the next 6 months. Here's what we know. Tim Scott is bojangling for a possibility to be vice president. He is dancing like Mr. Bojangles, but it ain't gonna work. Well, it might work. But basically, he is a buffoon. He's always been a buffoon, but his buffoonery right now is on high steroids.
That was silly.
It was, but I also think we should pay attention to the fine print of that poll. It was a Fox News poll. And, you know, we're not sure where the substance of that was coming from. But outside of, you know, who they were getting polling location, it could have been their base. And their base with, you know, black Americans in it probably is in its totality 30%. So I don't see that is a wrong number.
If it's 30% of their base, hell, they got a real big problem.
Well, exactly.
That means 70% of their own base.
So when they have these selling out for $12,000 and such, again, this is a ploy so the Biden and the Democratic Party can focus on the black community, which we do need to focus on. But black men, I don't believe, is the focus. I think the focus is all the other issues that we talked about today. You know, with Tim Scott, you know, all I think about when I see him is his ad commercial of, you know, from cotton field to Congress and him standing in the middle of the field like he, you know, raped the grass. So just
I see him, Tim Scott talk, all I see him going, I love you. When he told Trump, I just love you. Oh, Lord.
I can't stand him.
Me either.
I can't stand him.
Me either. I can't either. I can't.
I can't stand him. Oh, that dude makes me so mad. Him is no neck, need to come out the closet. I don't like him. That's all I can say. I can't stand him. I loathed him because they sit up here talking about Tim Scott, calling him a bojangler, calling him a buffoon. The woman alluded to him being a part of the LGBTQ community. You know, he's more right than straight. I'm confused. Make it make sense, sis.
You can't make it make sense because if this would have been a Republican or conservative saying this about a black Democrat, you know, he's more left than straight or whatever, then it would have been a problem. Oh, you homophobic. Oh, you talking about the LGBTQ community. All of that would have come out. You know what I'm saying? All of that would have come out. You know, it amazes me. This is why I don't like rolling potato head Martin. He's a fraud. He's a straight up fraud. And I'm tired of playing with him. He will get up here. This is a man who's making millions. And look, congratulations. I have no problem with you making millions. I want to make millions. I think a person should make as much money as they want to make in this country. That will make this country great. You know, I listen, he's successful. You got to applaud him for that. But this is where the fraud come in. This is where his lies come in. He will sit his round, short, no neck self right there on that doggone TV and tell these young black kids, you are being oppressed. The black people over here are being oppressed. We're oppressed. We're being oppressed because of slavery. Let's stop for a minute. First of all, Ronald Martin's family had nothing to do with slavery. His great-grandparents migrated from Haiti. They came over there in their own freedom from Haiti. That had nothing to do with slavery in the United States of America. So Ronald Martin needs to stop that lie, act like he's been held back because of slavery in America, number one. Number two, you are not oppressed. You are a black man making millions. Stop telling these black kids that they are oppressed about something they had nothing to do with. Yes, slavery was an ugly, evil institution in the United States of America. It was a legal institution, but it was a legal institution. But stop telling these young kids that they can't make it because of slavery, but you made it. So what makes you so much better than them? You can make it, but they can't. You see, this is what
Right.
get me, and the fact that he think that the Democrat Party own black men, the fact that he think the Democrat Party have the control on the way black men should vote and think is disgusting. He's a low life piece of crap to even think that, and I think every black man should be disgusted by that. The fact that he think the Democratic Party owns the black man, and then here go the other girl on the end. Well, you know, we got to remember where we got that from. That was one of the Fox polls. So, okay, if it's a Fox poll, it's a lie. But if it's CNN and MSNBC, then it's real. Make it make sense. See, this is the stupidity of how things have gotten in this country. Tim Scott have the right to vote for anyone he want to vote for. And the fact that a man, are supposed to be man, I'm just going to call it what it is, roll him out to my son, man, child by, that's some feminine bull crap. That's some stuff that women say, child by, that's feminine. Let's just be for real about it. If we're going to call spade a spade, let's just call it what it is. He got too many feminine traits for me anyway. I don't care nothing about him being married. He got a lot of feminine traits, child by, and all this old junk. You are straight up in the. You talking about Tim Scott need to come out of the closet? Why don't you come on out? It's 2024. Don't nobody care. Roll and be who you want to be. Be happy to be who you want to be. But to sit up here and try to tell a black man that they got to be coons and all this because they decide to vote for what they feel is best for them, what they feel is best for their community, whatever the reason is, they have the right to do that. And in 2024, for this black man, I'm not gonna even talk about the other three nuts on the platform with them because they just some straight up nuts. This lady talking about something. He's more right than he is, whatever. If Tim Scott would have came out and said you more uncute than you are cute, then that would have been a problem. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be for real, she's more uncute than she is cute. So let's just keep it all 100 out here. But then that would have been a problem. Guess what would have happened? Oh, he's attacking women. That would have been said. But you can say what you want to say about this man. And then the one who look like his braids start back here. I know it probably don't, but it look like it on my screen. He want to sit up here and talk about black men. What make y'all think y'all have a right to tell a black man how to think? They don't have to think about it like you. And to me, and I'm going to end it here, you got to be the lowest, weakest form of a man, period, regardless of your race, to think that you can tell another man how he should think and stuff. Who the heck are you? I don't get it. I just read off.
And this right here, like I say, most men that are supporting Trump now are I'm not gonna say the manly men, because you got some people that are, but the beta males are supporting Biden 100%. These are the men that have been raised by some of these black women that have, babied them, that have not taught them how to be a man, in which you can only, give them certain tools. But that's why men need to be back in our lives. We need to have the real men come in and teach black men how to be real men. But these women, they talk about they feel unprotected, and the black man ain't protecting them because you're raising them. You're raising these type of people. They don't have their own minds. They toe the line of, this feminine energy. You see what he rolled by Martin, like you say, he said, child by or boy by something. He said, I'm like, really, dude? Like, that's all you can come with, And the thing is, what black folk, we're so emotional. Like, I'm starting to think logically now. I'm like, okay, I want to make sure we have the best president, senator, governors, congressmen and women in place that's going to make America great. And when we say make America great again, it's the same thing that Hillary and the same thing that Bill Clinton said, the same thing that Ronald Reagan said, even Obama said. All of them said it, but when Trump said make America great again, it was racist. No, we want to see America back to where it was. Well, we didn't have all this racial tension and all this stuff that's going on now. Even when I was coming up in the 80s and 90s, I didn't hear nobody talking about reparations like they talking about now in 2024, and have us talk about reparations if we never was slaves or even have close generations to slavery. Like your father, he does, because I believe he was telling me that his grandmother was a slave, right?
His grandma, his great grandma.
Right. So
he remember having a conversation with her and walking with her, and she was telling him about when she didn't have the freedom just to walk freely, and even with that, and like I said, he grew up, he was born 67 years after slavery. He went through the Jim Crow in the South. He went through all of that. He has never taught us to be victims. My dad has never played that.
Yeah, it's just something that we have going on now. We have to do better, and this is why we're doing what we're doing. Yes, I want to say to y'all, we have had some, Wi-Fi was Wi-Fi, but this is real life. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we're trying to do what we can to get the message out. We're not telling you how to vote. We're just telling you to be a smart and informative voter. Make sure you do your research. Don't just take my word, popcorn word, nobody's word. Do your own due diligence to do your own research and look up these candidates, because most of the ones that's telling you they're going to do something, they're probably not. They're just trying to get your vote. And so you just got to do your own research. And I'm going to put some things on the screen so you can definitely see where you can find Popcorn and Pajamas. I'm going to have it scroll across. That's her PayPal if y'all want to send her a blessing. You can definitely do that. This is her TikTok information. You can pause and stop, if you need to get that information. And she also has a YouTube channel, and you can definitely follow her there. All of you, you know who I am, President Dontae. I think you can find me on TikTok by just putting that in. And Popcorn and Pajamas the same way, but this is something that we've done on the fly. This is something we've been talking about doing. And as we do it, it's going to get better. Okay, I'm sorry.
But
see, Big Sis be on it. Big Sis don't be, it's up there. Hey,
Okay, I see.
Big Sis don't play with me, y'all. I'm telling you,
Let me say this real quick. I want to say this real quick about Roland Martin. I know we're getting ready to go. It amazes me how Roland Martin now want to come and tear down Tim Scott for his own thoughts, his own beliefs. But he had what Illinois is called a city girl mayor, Tiffany Henyard, on there. He had Tiffany Henyard on there. He didn't hold her accountable for any of the stuff that she's doing in Illinois. He asked her, when I tell you questions that you asked her 2 years old, can you clap? Can you dance? Can you smile? He asked her those baby questions. But then you want to attack Tim Scott because he don't want to vote Democrat. You see the hypocrisy in it? You sitting up here now holding this lady accountable for literally going after black businesses because they won't support her. She's sending police to shut down black businesses and her opponents because they won't support her. But you don't want to talk about that. You get her on there and you don't ask her any of that stuff. But then y'all want to attack Tim Scott. I'm just saying, I don't get it. This is why I think when they talk about the black community is failing because of black men like Roland Martin. We don't have strong enough black leaders, black male leaders in our community. The black male leaders we supposed to so-called have, like the Al Sharptons and the Roland Martin, they're keeping us down. They're telling us we're oppressed, we can't make it while they're making millions. It's sad. That's just my opinion about it, and it's truly sad.
What you're saying, weak men make for hard times?
Yeah, weak men make for hard times. Strong men make for easier time. Right now, we got a lot of black men in our community that are weak. The Al Sharptons, the Roland Martin. Just because they get up there and they have a lot of following and they saying all these things that people think they're saying and they're educated, does not mean that they are the best people for you. I'd rather have somebody that you can call them ghetto, you can call them Allen, you can call them whatever you want to call them, as long as they shoot it to me straight. Let me know the truth of what's going on. I'd rather deal with that person any day of the week than hear these things. Like I say all the time, do you want these beautiful lies or do you want the hard truth? You got to make a decision. You got to make a decision.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Like I said, we're not going to, weigh your patience much longer. We definitely appreciate everybody that, will like, share, and comment on this. And I promise you, with Popcorn and I, we're going to make sure that we do it. We're going to learn. This is something new for both of us, and we're going to grow. We're going to, and if you have some, input that you want to give us that can make this thing move a little bit more, smoothly, let us know. We take suggestions here. So let us know. This is our first time with the PPP show, and it's gonna be more to come. We're gonna probably do it once a week, And so I've said my say. I'm doing this right here up to you. Popcorn have a way of saying goodbye, but I let her do that on her own.
Well, listen, y'all know I'm Popcorn and Pajamas, but y'all gotta remember I'm shy. So when y'all put those comments down there, don't come at me too hard because I'm sensitive. For real, y'all. But love y'all, and we will see y'all next time on the PPP show. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for just taking the time to watch with us. Thank you. See you next time.
Peace.
Peace.